Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Winter Ember. Winter Ember is, according to the developers themselves in the email they sent me, a isometric stealth sandbox action game developed by Sky Machine Studios, and it is published by Blowfish Studios. Now, like I said, the developers sent me an email, and they sent me a key to test the game before its official release. Or rather, do a video or two on it, and, well, I was more than interested after I read the words Stealth Sandbox, because, well, I'm old enough, rather, to remember the glory days of Thief, and this game, despite being in a, different perspective, it's, they say it's isometric. This is more like between isometric and third person. I mean, you aim like this, but then again, the way the camera moves and the way you move, and especially the way you can jump on top of things, I don't know, it's not the most traditional isometric game, or, I don't know if it's traditional, it's not the most common isometric view to have of your character. Now, before we get on to telling you why I like the game so much, and I really, really like it, the TLDR of it, if you don't want to watch the whole video, is it has great graphics, great ambience, a lot of interactivity with the world, and takes heavy inspiration from Thief. Or at least, that's what I'm getting out of it. Maybe when it was being developed this wasn't the case, but it resonates a lot with people that like Thief, both in the attire of the character and, for example, the different types of arrows, the way you interact with the environment, the hiding of the bodies, etc., etc., the way you turn lights on and off with water arrows, for example, and, all the classic tropes of Thief that worked so well in the early 2000s work here as well. So that's the TLDR. But before I get into sort of more in-depth talking about these things, usually I talk about the things I really like first, right? I mean, that's an unwritten rule of thumb when critiquing something or when reviewing something. You first talk about the good things, then you talk about the bad things, and then you conclude with, however you want to conclude. It could be, in my case, whether I recommend the game or not, and in other cases it could be something else, like final grade or whatever. However, I'm going to do things a little bit differently here for a very good reason. I'm going to tell you first what I don't like about the game. I don't like the combat. Now, it's a stealth game. You're not supposed to be fighting, if you're fighting, something's gone wrong, and that's definitely the case. And me not liking the combat actually is not a bad thing, because it forces me to be more careful with my stealth. But the combat just feels a bit floaty, and honestly, I think my biggest problem is that I have this sword, right? And I'm hitting people with a sword. It feels like I'm tickling them. The attacks have no weight behind them, and I don't like that. That's the only negative thing I have to say about the game. Well, okay, there's, a couple of things that we're going to mention later down the line, but on the whole, that's the only thing I dislike about the game. Now, what's so good about it? Whew, strap yourselves in. First things first, I want to show you the animations. Yes, this game comes with cutscenes, and yes, those cutscenes are... wow. Those cutscenes are on par with something like Castlevania. Matter of fact, the art style is kind of similar, actually pretty darn similar. But for that, let me just give you a small little taste of the cutscenes, because I don't want to spoil the story, I don't want to spoil the opening of the game, which is fantastic. So let me just show you the first, it's from the opening, but, out of context, and just a couple of scenes from the cutscenes. Scenes from the cutscenes. It works. Alright, here we go.
Just something my father said. Has me thinking.
What was that?
Not sure.
Door's locked. Someone's in there. Get ready.
How about that, eh? just breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking. Now, let's talk a bit about the game and the actual gameplay mechanics. So, stealth game, sandbox. Just how much of a sandbox? Well, this is the first level, but, you know, it gets more open later, but even in the first level, you can come back to pretty much any point in the level. It's not like a linear scripted path that you go down. And you can come back, and there is a ton of stuff for you to explore. Sorry. For example, right now, I need to get to the train heading to the city, Northfair, right? But there's a whole heap of stuff littered around the map for me to find and rob. There's safes, there's chests, there's hidden treasures, all sorts of things. This is very much just like in Thief, where you would have a main objective to maybe, I don't know, steal a painting or a key of some description, but throughout the level you would find tons and tons of other valuable loot for you to find and, shall we say, reappropriate. So that is the open world aspect of it. Like I said, later it gets, you know, this just expands more. In terms of stealth, you can crouch, you can sprint, and you can use cover. Now, the cover mechanic had me very interested as well, because it adds an entire sort of layer of depth to the stealth. There is this sort of cursor in front of you, as you can see, and just by hitting the C button, I sprint to cover. This is very useful if there's someone right in front of you. So, for example, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this later, so I'll just do it like this. If there's a guard standing here, and I'm crouched here, especially if I'm in the light, he might see me. However, if I use cover, despite being in the light, I will not be seen from that direction because I'm obscured by these planks. So, that adds a whole added layer of depth. In terms of dealing with your enemies, there are arrows, as you can see, which honestly suck. I mean, the utility arrows are great. You have the grappling arrows, you also have blunt arrows later down the line. Then, you know, you will unlock recipes, and there is a whole crafting system right here with arrows, so you choose what type of shaft you want, what type of head you want, and what type of element, I suppose, you want on it. So you can have a rope, you can have, you know, something else, or you can just clear the whole thing and make a regular arrow without an element. So no fire, no water, no rope. You can do that as well. So, they kind of suck. The utility arrows, like I said, are great, but the arrows that you actually shoot, yeah, I don't know. Not the biggest fan. You can switch between them like this, though fair warning, this the ability to switch arrows unlocks as you play. Which means you might have different kinds of arrows, but you won't be able to switch between them in the tutorial. Which was a little bit confusing and a little bit weird, but they're, you know, it is what it is. Maybe this will change in the future, maybe they'll unlock it for you sooner, but yeah, that's it. Your vision is also very important now. You might think that because of the perspective and the limited field of vision, and the rather limited view distance, that enemies will just always be visible on the screen. Not the case.
Do I see something?
As you can see. And now, maybe I did this on purpose. Oh, actually, no, never mind. I had the idea to do this on purpose, and just to show you the combat, but I don't have any health to muck about with, so... Oh, and this is locked. Oh dear, okay. Sod. Sod. I was going to show you the combat, but I don't have any health, and it really is a bad idea to do that right now. Okay, well, at least I did move the guards. I suppose that counts for something. There is a lock-picking system too in the game, which you'd expect from any Thief game. It's rather simplistic. You just hold down the lockpick button until the pin starts shaking, and then you release, and the pin is locked in place. If you hold it for too long, the pin will break, and if you release too early, the lock will reset. That's about it. Again, there's going to be a short-ish video because I don't want to spoil too much of the game, but I do want to cover as many of the gameplay mechanics as I can. So, there is also a way to deal with your enemies. And by the way, one of the things I really like is that once they found you, or they found a body or something, they are permanently on high alert. It'll take a while for them to go back to regular patrol duties. They will search for you, and once they do, they will be rather annoyed. So, yeah, there you go. So I just shot 2 arrows into that guy, and, yeah.
Bloody swine. Oh.
Eat. And there you go. So that was the combat. Now, I should probably explain what just happened. You have 2 types of attacks, heavy and light. Light is faster, heavy breaks enemies' block once it's charged up. You can block 3 strikes, indicated by the 3 dots, before your guard has been crushed. The enemies pretty much do the same thing. They can block 3 times, or they can block 3 heavy attacks until their guard is down. You can also counter the enemies by hitting the block button right before their attack lands, and that'll leave them vulnerable for you to slice them up. So it's rather simple. It's all timing based, but at the same time, it's kind of, I don't know. There's no weight behind it. I already mentioned why I don't like it. That and the fact that the arrows were a little bit shite, but yeah. The regular arrows, that is. Alright, so anyways, let's now play the game properly. We'll work our way stealthily across the map. These are 2 gentlemen I've dispatched of in such a stealthy manner, as mentioned before. And now, I'm assuming there is something I can do over here that I've completely missed. Because down there is all cleared out. Did I loot this? No, I did not. So we have a valuable ring and something else. And did he see me? They both saw me, alright. Fortunately, with a little bit of luck and a little bit of weaving left and right, you can outrun the enemies. More valuable stuff. Alright. But as far as gameplay mechanics are concerned, that's about it. The arrows, the crafting system, the loot, a whole inventory system, which you can auto-sort, but you can also grab these things and move them around yourself. And skills. Now, you unlock these as you play the game, and you can only spend them on save points or on altars where you can save the game. And they're just basic upgrades for your character, so dagger cooldown decrease, arrow draw speed increase. Most of them are passive, as you can see, easier lockpicks, lockpick durability, pickpocketing speed, etc, etc. Nothing too revolutionary, but some of the ones down here are a little bit more, like increased sell price of items and so on. The items you get, of course, you do sell, and you exchange them for various upgrades, gear, and so on and so forth. Alright, now, hopefully that I've escaped the guards. They are going to be on a lookout for me, and they will change their patrol patterns, but I think I will be able to get rid of at least a couple of them the quiet way. For example, that guy right there. some reason the game won't let me kill him. I think it's because he's up against the wall. And he's being a little bit difficult. But that's fine. I don't want to walk into the light like this, but I think the outside area is kind of clear, so I can do that. And there you go. Okay. Some more of my handiwork here. You should really hide the bodies in a... how should I put it? In a more of a... Do I have a electrical arrow? No. Let's see if I can't craft one. No, I don't think... Oh, I do have electrical arrows. I should put them into the appropriate slot. Okay, here we are. And now... Well, that was a waste. I should have seen it coming. But never mind. It should work like this, right? Yeah, there we go. And that will turn the thingamajig around, probably allowing me to cross, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed. Okay. Awesome, awesome. This has been looted, and now let's play the game a little bit more focused and a little bit more, shall we say, properly. You can peek through doors, and generally the amount of interactivity you have with the environment is rather impressive. Okay, this may be a bad example, but you can peek through all sorts of windows. Most doors that you find locked you can eventually unlock, either by finding the key or going around the other end. Or going around the other side, finding a different route. Generally speaking, the maps are, or at least this one, seems really, really well thought out. Especially when I went to the sort of warehouse here, I suppose, of some description. Was it a villa? I don't know. It had a lot of boxes in the ground floor, so I'm assuming it's a warehouse of some description. For example, you would find something locked here, and then you would go upstairs, you would go around the villa, blah, 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 or the warehouse, and then you would find yourself here, and you would open the door, and it will allow you to go back. So most of the rooms loop around on themselves, and most of the areas you go to will lead you back to where you started, should you want to go back. Which means, the backtracking isn't nearly as painful as you might expect it to be while you're just playing, and not really thinking about it. I'll give you another example. There is a save point over here, a save shrine. If I wanted to go back, well, I'm not sure I can because I took the train from here to there, and I'm not sure if it goes back or not. But minus this train, going from here to there is now really simple because I've unlocked everything, right? But actually getting to the point where you do unlock everything takes a little bit of time. In fact, other than the combat being a bit lackluster, the one thing I have a slight problem with is the lack of save shrines. Now, I actually applaud the usage of such a mechanic in stealth games, because it's a way to force difficulty into a game, for sure, but also it makes it so you need to live with the consequences of your choices. So, for example, if I were to die now, I would have to restart probably the whole thing. Maybe it would put me back to the train segment, but still, that's a lot of progress I would lose, which means you can't save scum. Which is very, very good for making the game a little bit more punishing, a little bit more interesting, and a little bit more challenging, and having a sense of permanence in it. So, for example, if I were to get spotted right now, I would be like, oh no, I'll just reload back to when I was over there. Well, tough luck, you can't do that. That said, though, if I want to quit the game right now, and I don't want to play anymore because I've been playing for a while, too bad. I can't do that. I mean, too bad in the sense that there isn't a save shrine nearby that I can save the game and exit. So, yeah. it has its ups and downs, I suppose, the entire system. One of the things that I haven't found a way to do right now is a way to distract the guards. I don't know if that's something I can find later down the line, but I don't see a convenient way of distracting them, at least just yet. Which is noteworthy, I guess, to some extent. And the guy that was patrolling here just went that way, so I should be clear to just cross without having to murder anyone. Bit of a cheat, maybe, is that you can actually see some of the guards on the minimap, or on the compass in the lower right-hand side. Of course, you can ignore... Oh, there we go, save shrine, just as I was complaining about it. You can, of course, change the difficulty. If we go to the options menu, I'm currently playing on medium. You can increase this, it'll probably, it will make the enemies tougher and on all the standard stuff, but if you want to change the difficulty in a slightly unconventional way, you can turn off the sight icon, the sound meter, all of these alerts, and have the game give you minimal information about how you're doing. Obviously this is my first time playing, so I kind of want to, you know, first of all, I want to learn the controls and learn what's what and what the mechanics are, and then I can up the difficulty. Alright, here we go. So we've found another save shrine. We can now unlock something. Arrow draw speed, dagger cooldown, peak radius. I think peak radius might not be bad. Nimble fingers, unlock picking difficulty. I really like peak radius, even if it's a slight increase. Yeah, I'd really like that. And you just hold to light the shrine up and save the game right there. Okay. And there is also this. There is verticality in the game. You can jump, and I mean, this was especially evident in the warehouse, which is honestly where I should have started the video, but it was just the start of the game. I wanted to progress a little bit more. You could drop from, for example, if you are on a ledge like this, and there is a guard down there, you can drop down and just kill him. Isometric game. Didn't really expect it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's nothing overly revolutionary about it, but yeah. Oh, I can... Oh. Roll across gaps. Really? Yeah, what the game doesn't tell you is that you need to mash space a little bit. It's not W plus space, it's W plus mash space. Alright, there you go. W plus space doesn't do anything. And I think that, honestly, the greatest advertisement I can do for the game right now is to just play it a little bit more and show you what there is to see. I've explained most of the basic gameplay mechanics. Now I'm going to show you a little bit more about the world and how the whole thing interacts and acts, provided I can excuse me. Was okay, am I... Did I go down the wrong route? Oh, no, probably I'm just being a bit stupid. Though I did do that in the tutorial. Like I said, the game doesn't hold your hand. You know, it is 2D and it is a little bit, how should I put it? Alright, let's do this. It is a little bit deceptive, maybe, looking at first, because you might think, oh, you know, there's a corridor that I need to go down. Actually, I kind of broke the tutorial by going to a place where I wasn't supposed to. So I sort of did the tutorial in reverse. As in, I found the key first, and then the note that told me where the key was. It's a simple tutorial task that you need to do, like find the note, and then the note tells you where the key is, and then you find the key. Well, I did it in reverse. And that's just the tutorial, which is the most hand-holdy segment of the game. So, yeah, you got a lot of freedom. And it is really, really nice and really impressive. Actually, the one thing I would like to do right now is I wonder if I can... turn down the brightness. I wonder if I can change the contrast of the game. I would have to do that probably... Yeah, I'd have to probably do that on my monitor, and a bit unfortunate, but alright. It's a little bit too bright for my taste, and even with the brightness turned down to like 60%, it's a little bit too bright. I'd like the darkness to be, well, you know, darker, and currently it's not really, yeah. That's the one visual gripe I may have with it, but then again, for YouTube, it's probably best because whole conversion thing and compression, you know, it'll look horrible if it's darker than this. You won't be able to see anything. That said, though, the game's atmosphere is really, really neat. I love the guards' chatter, the little details in the world. The maps are exceptionally well detailed. I wonder if I can make... I probably can't. I don't have the recipe for that, do I? No, I don't, but I maybe picked up some? I did not pick some up. Okay. Blunt arrowhead. I cannot make those. Interesting. Okay. We'll forgive the, whatchamacallit, but I'm a little bit stuck. Assuming I can open this from this. No, I can't. Am I just being stupid and I can climb this? No, I can't. Can I climb this? And the game won't let me roll across here to relative safety. No, no. Won't let me do that. Let me try again. Nope. Well, that's interesting. I appear to have gotten myself stuck. Which I don't think was intended, but here we are nonetheless. Yeah, destructible, but, how do you want me to destroy it, is it? Can I cut it with my... No? Ha! I'll see you all in a second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. It turns out you need to make these arrows, but I swear to God this was grayed out a minute ago. And I couldn't make them. But we don't have that problem anymore, so wooden shaft, blunt arrowhead, 1, 2, 3. There we go, and then you need to obviously equip them. So we'll just put them in slot 1, and... there we go. Et voila. We have broken through the gate. Okay, I swear to God the blunt arrowhead thing was grayed out for me at first, and now it seems to be working fine. Either way, you know, if there is problems like that, reloading fixed it. If not, well, this game isn't out yet. This is an early build, just for press preview or a review or whatever you want to call it. All right. Is capable of crafting arrows, that's fine, and we're off. In terms of enemy variety, there isn't that much. So far, I've seen only guards. You saw in the text there will be dogs, but generally speaking, that's about it, right? The regular sort of detachment of enemies, if you will, that you can expect, I suppose, that we will find here. And that is another regular guard right there. I'd rather not fight him. Oh, really?
Ha! You're a dead man. Oh.
Alright. There had to be some way of getting around that without killing Ember. Suppose I could have used this as cover and then... yeah, probably. Probably. Never mind. He's gone now, we don't need to worry about it, and it is a train, so I don't really have much in the way of space to hide the bodies. But if you'll allow me the 2003 Vin Diesel reference...
Darkness, I can hide the bodies here.
Yeah, apologise for the terrible impression, but that was from Butcher... well, it was supposed to be from Escape from Butcher Bay, the first Riddick game, and got all of that. What really comes to mind is, well, the obvious stealth aspects. That is a lot of blood for such a small room. That's alright, though. We are going to need a key. Which is, oddly enough, not in this chest. That's interesting. Did the guard have one, maybe? No? What am I doing? Storage carrier and hide in there. Presumably at the front of the train. Oh wow. Okay. I mentioned this before, but I want to reiterate again. The world is extremely detailed. Sorry, my life flashed before my eyes there for a second. I wonder if I can... maybe this is a bit enthusiastic, but... I can't dump a body over the railing. That'd be interesting, but I suppose it doesn't really matter because it is a train and nobody will come and find him. Here it is a rather linear sequence. Okay. You can see down, like, from the little books to the food that they're eating to all the little... Am I bleeding? I am, I'm bleeding. Jesus. Okay, cute. Just completely missed that. I've bled all over this nice carpet. Which will attract people, will get them to be on their guard, etc, etc. Like, you know, it's the little stuff like that that really gets me, and I really, really appreciate a game like this. Alright, inventory full. Really? Oh, well that's unfortunate. Oh, and here's the lockpicking. There you go. And done. As you can see, pretty darn simple. Okay. There's also a thing here I missed. Smoke. Interesting. Speak, doesn't seem to be anyone there. And doesn't look like there's anyone here either. Kind of reminds me of the train from Metro a little bit. At least in this part. There we go, I just went inside. Unfortunately, I can't hide in the... underneath the table or something like that. That would be a bit helpful. But I reckon I can get rid of him like so. Alright. Good. Good. Through here, this looks empty too. Except for the fact that it isn't, and that I've been spotted.
Taste my blade. You're a dead man. You're a dead man.
Maybe if I wasn't so shite at the combat, maybe I wouldn't dislike it, but... yeah. It doesn't really matter, I have one more HP potion. That'll get me through this segment, and then I can hopefully buy some more and enjoy life. Okay. We should be almost there. Oh. I wonder if he's gonna get the normal arrows out. I wonder if he's... I mean, not that they help, but...
You're a dead.
Okay, that was a lot better. Guess now that I've had a little bit of practice at it, that makes a lot more sense. I'm stuck, though. Oh, no. Please, no. Oh, okay. Just crouched under the, got stuck underneath the chandelier. Or the lamp, I suppose, whatever you want to call it. That was kind of amusing. Okay. And I reckon that's it. I just have to get over to... which compartment was that? That was the third one over here. Okay. And I'm just going to hide inside it and presumably wait until I've arrived. Now, there might be some questions asked about the number of bodies on the train and why it's completely empty, but, you know, I guess we'll see when we get there. Nope, never mind. We've just arrived. No problems. No questions
South
asked.
Anacle, full of tight alleys and the overuse of cobblestone. I'll definitely be in need of tools, and I know where I can get some. Aiko,
And here,
let's see
we
if
have
you're
the
still around, old friend.
civilian element of the game, and the much more open world element of the game. As you can see, there's going to be, in the journal over here, there's going to be main quests, which is, you know, your story, or main heists, and well, heists would be in Thief terms. Here it's a little bit more personal and stuff. But you also have side quests that you need to complete for random people, and also regular civilian areas where you don't need to hide. Index down here, black market to buy and sell stuff, main quests like this, undiscovered quests, probably side quests, fast travel too, so you don't need to manually trek across everything, and obviously a lot to explore, but this is the size of the map. It's not huge, but at the same time it is there is a lot for you to do, and
freezing.
Yeah, that's about it. So the game also features locked safes, which is probably my favorite because you need to find a combination for the safes, and I find that really really fun and entertaining. So you might find a combination safe with like 3 numbers, but you don't know which 3 numbers there are, and you need to find it somewhere, and you get the idea. The guards apparently do know who I am, or no? No, I think that just indicates that they can see me, which is fine. That's... Oh. Okay. Interesting. Already discovered some hidden pathways underneath all of this. Good, good. Can I get on top of this? No. Well, there's probably a way to turn off the fans and then I can get through here, I would assume. But that will be it for this video. These have been my first impressions of the game, and a quick little introduction to it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comments below. The game will be coming out on Steam relatively soon, I assume. Let me just check if there's any more information about it. Okay, so the game is actually available to purchase right now. It's been available since middle of April. It's cost you about 23 to 24 euros. That's 27-ish dollars, or your regional equivalent. Steam is a bit weird with its regional pricing nowadays. It actually just might count euros and dollars as the same thing. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Anyways, that's the rough price, and most of the negative reviews about this game come from the fact that it costs as much as it does. The campaign takes around 12, 13, 14 hours. I play a little bit slow, so it'll probably take me about 15, 16 maybe. So here's the thing. It's a really good thief game. It's a really good stealth game. I really like it. What's a little bit clunky are the stealth kill animations and the cover animations. You need to be at a particular distance from an object to take cover behind it. You can't just stand next to it and take cover. But at the same time, you don't really need to. Oftentimes, just standing next to an object will hide you from an enemy without giving you the whole in-cover, not animation, but like without locking your character in cover, right? So, at the same time, cover is fine. The one problem I did have occasionally is with the killing animations. Sometimes your character will get a little bit stuck and the pathfinding for the animation will get a little bit weird. So you might need to attempt to kill someone 2 or 3 times, rather hit the button 2 or 3 times, which in certain situations I know can be really, really detrimental to your stealth performance. But that said, I do thoroughly recommend this game. And I'm a bit wary of doing that considering it has mixed reviews, but yeah, in my personal experience, this version of the game that I've played, which is supposed to be some kind of beta released for the press, and it has some fixes apparently in it, or something along those lines. It is not the public version. I suppose this will come out soon for the rest of the consumer base. It's fine. It's nothing... Okay, just accidentally alt-tabbed. There's nothing really breaking about the game, right? There's nothing really stopping you from enjoying it. It's a little bit lighter than I would like, as in, the shadows aren't as dark as I would like them to be. But I think it's a worthy isometric successor to Thief. The amount of tools you have, the way you interact with your environment and all of those things, I think there is a lot there to really like. What I would like to see are maybe a little bit more cutscenes, a little bit more animations like that when you go through the game between, like, in level transitions and stuff. I think that would have been awesome. So I don't know whether that's in the works or not. The game is pretty much released, so aside from minor updates, this is what you're getting. It is pricey. It's half the price of a AAA game, but with these problems that it has, it's not entirely, unjustified to say that, you don't really like the game because of its price and you think it's a little bit much. I understand those reviews completely, but at the same time, you gotta understand that 30 euros today and 30 euros 3 years ago are very different. So, yeah. I'm not just talking about inflation, I'm talking about generally the economic state of the world today. Yeah, it's you have to. It's difficult to say anything. Like, it's difficult to say anything about prices nowadays, simply because of the challenging times that we live in. So, yeah. Ultimately, do I recommend it? It is a fun game. Yes, if you can get it on sale for like half the price or something, I would definitely try it out if you were a fan of slow-paced, methodical stealth gameplay. The train wasn't the best segment, to be honest with you, because there isn't much of anywhere to hide, but the rest of the game, you really do have multiple avenues of approach. You can just ignore the guards, you can, try and kill all of them, you can... there's a lot of freedom. It takes some inspiration from games like Dishonored, takes a lot of inspiration from Thief, and I really do like this. And I do recommend it. So that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. The Steam page to the game will be down in the description below, where you can read more reviews and stuff like that to see why people dislike the game, and make your judgment based on that. There is a lot of valid criticism. There's not many reviews, but the vast majority of the ones I've read are completely valid and insightful, so I'd thoroughly recommend it if you are interested in the game, before picking it up, to read a little bit more about the negative aspects of it, because, to me it's fine, but, people have been complaining, so, yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Link will be in the description down below. Have fun. Take care, and please do remember to like and subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and we'll stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on this channel. Until next time, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.